The security is a huge and complex topic, but we are going to make it simple. As a startup, you have two goals. First, avoiding data and identity theft, and then keeping your service up and running. So in order to do that, here are the first actions you can ask to your technical team. First off, on the software side, you can ask them to do some code review, or maybe by hiring another team to review the source code for them. Secondly, you should ask to your team to run or to outsource some security check. Actually, it's like if they wanted to hijack the service, but this time with good intentions, while maybe someone on the web will have bad intention to crash your service or maybe to thief some data from you. And the last point I recommend you to put in place is a centralized log and alert system, which will help you just for security purpose as well as bug management. On this infrastructure side, we can put in place what is called a web application firewall. It's not exactly a simple firewall. That's something that is going to analyze every request from the web to your software, like an antivirus, but for a server. It's going to block massive attacks as well as intrusion attempts and undesired requests like wrong formats, etc., etc. And the last point about security, and maybe the most important one, is about the legal point of view. Each country has its own regulations. But in May 2018, the Europe put in place a new regulation, the GDPR, for General Data Protection Regulation. Here are a few principles for GDPR. First, any requested information, private information, need to be justified. If you want to send newsletter, you need to ask for their authorization for it. That also means that if the client refuses to share some information, you as a company, you can refuse to provide the service as well. And another principle says that as a company, you need to allow people to change their mind and to update or delete their personal information at any time. In this new regulation, there are several key rules to understand. First, the data controller. Usually, this is the business owner, the one responsible for the company of every data that is stored inside your servers. Then the data processor. It's any type of subcontractor or outsourcing company that have access to the data. And you as a client company, you need to check that your providers are compliant and they are not going to share your private information. Next, the protection officer. This is the one in charge of the security of the data of the company. This role can be outsourced if you don't have the required technical skills. And then finally, the data protection authority. This is the legal organization that can audit at any time your company and check that you are really compliant. Let me tell you that I am not a GDPR specialist myself, but just keep in mind that's a good regulation. It allows any company to be forced to keep private personal information. And it also allows the final customers to change or erase it at any time. And in some cases, it might require to make data anonymous, especially on big data or machine learning purpose. That might require on your side as a company to replace in your data every personal information just by a number or an alias. Well, it was a very brief introduction to GDPR, but what you need to know is that data privacy regulation is a requirement. And I highly recommend you to ask to your lawyer what you can store or not about the personal information of your customers. And we just conclude the development phase. It will be now the time to anticipate the growth stage. And we are going to flip through every challenges that are waiting for you down the road. And I will see you in the next video for the growth stage challenges.